Welcome to Herzog's Leadership Series. Today, I'm joined by Senior Vice President of Quality Assurance and Rail Detection Innovation, Troy Elbert. Troy started at Herzog in 1997 as an electronic technician for Herzog's ultrasonic rail inspection group. From there, he elevated to executive management and was fortunate to co-invent and help develop many of Herzog's rail flaw detection technologies. Today, he heads up the quality assurance team aimed at continual improvement across the enterprise. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining, man. Okay, so my first question for you is, what motivates you to pursue excellence at Herzog?
Well, that goes back to, me at a younger age. And one of the things that I love to do is to take something that's old or broken and fix it and make it as good or better than new. So anytime that I come across anything that I see can be improved, that's kind of a natural instinct to take it apart, see what's wrong, and then try and fix it and make it better than new.
So solving problems is a hobby of yours, I guess?
Yeah. Problem solving is one of the things I like to do.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Where do you think that comes from?
No idea. It's just something that I've always been, I grew up as a kid taking apart TVs and radios and seeing how they worked and, getting shocked a couple times, but it's been something that's always been around.
So what was your education like? Did that take you into some kind of specific field?
Well, I knew I always wanted to be an engineer.
Okay.
And what type of engineer I didn't quite know.
Okay.
So I first started out in college as a biochem, which was going into petrochemical.
Wow.
That was something that really interested me. Chemistry was one of my stronger suits.
Okay.
So I started pursuing that, and the more I talked to people about what can happen in the industry as far as a career path, it seemed like there was more of a penchant to wind up in a lab doing repetitive tests.
Yeah.
And not really getting out and experiencing engineering, but more on the testing side. And that really didn't appeal to me. So I switched. Okay. I went over they had an electrical engineering program, and I've always been interested in electronics. Like I said, I tore apart TVs and radios, and so I switched. And that was actually a really good move because it moved me into not only electronics, it gave me a lot of mechanical as well. So, bridges and civil and CAD drawings and all the different things on the other side of the engineering spectrum. So it was a really nice rounded degree and program.
Gotcha. And what school did you do that at?
Missouri Western University, yeah.
Wow. Go Griffs.
Yeah, go Griffs.
So that was your education. Can you tell the story of how you got to where you are today from there? It all starts, I had a job with an outdoor media company here in town. Media?
Media, outdoor media, which means I was working on...
Like this kind of media?
No, not this kind of media, no, like billboards.
Oh, okay.
And specifically, I was working on marquees.
Yeah.
So the banks, when they used to have the big lighted signs that said, time and temperature, that's what I did.
Okay.
I worked on those type of signs and the big gas signs at the truck stops and things like that.
Like Loves?
Yeah, only older,
Yeah.
So I started out working on those type of signs because they're electronic, and I was, that was my education. But they sent me in the field a lot, and I had a young kid at home. My son was probably 1 or 2 years old at the time, and it just didn't work out. I wanted to be home more. I was tired of traveling, and I said, I'm done. I'm going to go find a job that doesn't travel as much. Yeah. And Herzog had an opening. I applied for it, interviewed, and got accepted.
What was that position when you first got here?
It was a technician in the rail flaw detection division. So I started out on the bench. Yeah. Unfortunately, I got to travel as much or more than I was before, so that didn't quite work out. But I just decided that, if I'm going to make it in this industry, I'm going to have to travel. Yeah. So we just kind of did the best that we could. But yeah, started working and designing the circuitry for the flaw detectors for the ultrasonic systems, and then moved into helping to design the computers, having a hand in the programming, working with the programmers to make the new programs and getting those working, designing and building the trucks, and just kind of went from there.
Wow. And so just climb ever since.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So how many years total is that?
This February, I'll be on 28.
Wow, good stuff, man. That's awesome. So my next question is, what enabled you to rise through the company? Because obviously you went from being a technician to where you are now. That's a big jump. So what do you think enabled you to do that?
Persistence is one. Just not giving up.
Mm.
But again, it goes back to problem solving. I think it was, I was always there to lend a hand to try to solve an issue, make it better, and keep pushing on. And not only for the betterment of Herzog, but the betterment of our customers.
Yeah.
Always trying to find the best thing to help fill their needs.
Mm. What values or beliefs of yours do you attribute to your success as a leader?
Caring about people.
Mm.
That's a big one. That's one of the things that I value the most, actually, is that I've got a really good team. I've always had a good team around me, been part of a team and leader of a team on both sides of it. And being able to talk to people, listen to people, collaborate on ideas, that's to me is fun.
Mm.
When you have a problem and you get together and you hear a bunch of different ideas and you come together and you come up with a solution and it works, that's a big W.
Yeah. What skills or abilities of yours do you attribute to your success as a leader?
Press pause.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's one of the most important ones for me.
Wow.
Press pause, because one of the things that Max and I always talked about when we were faced with the customer issue or something that popped up that was on fire that day, had to stop. Let's hold on a second. Let's find out all the details we can find out before we make any kind of rash decision, because you never know that if you knee jerk it, it's probably going to be wrong. So stop, take a minute, let's figure it out, take the emotion out of it. Let's not get mad. Let's just take the emotion out of it and then decide what we're going to do.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great way for you to channel the logical part of your brain, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Next question is, what's a mistake you've made in your career and what did you learn from it?
The biggest mistake I've made in my career, I made two. One was turning down an offer for a promotion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why'd you turn it down? That's
I
interesting.
know, that's what everybody says, and that's now I ask myself, why did I do that? To me, it made sense at the time. I was fresh out of the shop. I was a brand new manager of sorts. I was actually in the quality for HSI, and they wanted me to be in essence the vice president. And I didn't feel I was quite there yet. I wasn't comfortable with that level of oversight.
Yeah.
And I knew there was another guy or two that would be better qualified. So in my mind, I did it for the betterment of the company.
Wow.
That no, I'm not the guy. That's the guy.
That's very selfless of
maybe next time.
Yeah.
Hindsight, I should have took it.
Yeah.
I should have I could have learned it. Within a year, I probably could have learned it.
Yeah. Well, I see a lot of things online about this kind of dilemma that people run into, and it's kind of like an imposter syndrome, right? Where you maybe sometimes you don't give yourself the credit you deserve, and a lot of times people will doubt whether they're capable of doing something like what you're talking about here. But it's just like you said, if you just take the step before the path has revealed itself, you'll learn as you go, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I definitely feel like that's an awesome lesson, though, I think, for younger people, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lack of confidence could definitely cause people to make the same mistake, right?
Yeah, don't miss out on those opportunities.
What's the most difficult part about being a business leader, and how do you overcome that?
Communication. And again, it goes back to being engaged. It's really easy to sit in your office and do your thing and let people do their thing and not engage. It is harder to make sure you're engaged. And that means picking up the phone, making the phone calls, emails, text, however it works, whatever, and learning what that person that you're talking to, what's their favored method of contact. Do they like text? Do they like a phone call? Do they like email? And then working with that.
So the biggest challenge for you was communication, and the answer to it was more communication.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right, the last question I have for you is, what advice would you give someone who wants to be in your shoes someday?
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give up. Believe in yourself. Take the opportunity. If it feels right, do it. Don't doubt yourself. That's probably the biggest thing that I've learned.